Good morning. My name is Mark Krikorian. I'm Executive Director of the Center for Immigration Studies. And we're releasing today a report and having a discussion about immigration and public schools. And this is relevant to the assimilation question, which is the kind of the thing that we pegged it to, because the schools, the public school system, really is the primary institution for the Americanization of young people, of immigrants who come as children or the children from immigrant families if they came as immigrant themselves. And in fact, it's not too much to say that the public school system, back then called common schools, were invented to Americanize immigrant kids from immigrant families. So this is really the nexus between the issue of assimilation and public schools is significant. And so first we're going to have a presentation on the numbers. This isn't about the numbers that we're looking at are not showing whether assimilation is happening, isn't happening. It's not a measure of it. It's really more a measure of the context within which the assimilation of young people from immigrant families happens. And the author of the report and presenting it is Stephen Camarota, our Director of Research at the Center for Immigration Studies, one of the nation's top authorities on the impact of immigration in the United States. And then we're going to have a discussion about both the implications of the report and just sort of generally on the issue of the Americanization of immigrants and their children. And our speakers, we're going to start with the kind of most theoretical and go down to the least theoretical, if that makes sense. We're going to start with Peter Scarry. He's a professor of political science at Boston College. He's author of an important book in this field called Mexican Americans, the Ambivalent Minority. And we're going to follow Peter, the professor, with Reihan Salam, the journalist. He is executive editor at National Review, and he's got like 7 other jobs. He's a contributing editor at the Journal of National Affairs. He's on the board of New America. And he has more energy than I ever will have in my entire life. I'm just completely amazed. And then at the sort of greatest level of specificity, Juan Rangel, he's now president of Mastery Consulting, but for quite some time he was CEO of United Neighborhood Organization, which is at the time was the biggest Hispanic community group in Chicago, and it's relevant to what we're talking about today because they had a series of charter schools with several thousand children, mostly from Mexican immigrant families in them, and has significant experience in how this works and has written and talked about this issue pretty broadly, and so I think is an important part of the conversation. So we're going to start with Steve, then our 3 commenters, and then we'll have a discussion, Q&A.